You're watching KWQC News at noon.
Hello and welcome back to your news at noon. And what a beautiful noon it is, Teresa. We've got temps in the 60s today, maybe hovering close to 80 tomorrow, maybe?
This is true, yes. We've already got temperatures in the 60s for...
The Alabama and Mississippi primaries are today, and both races are too close to predict a winner. To give her husband's campaign a boost, Ann Romney rallied voters across Alabama Monday. Her stops included this one in Montgomery. Mrs. Romney said her husband is the only one who can beat President Obama. Polls of likely Republican voters in Alabama and Mississippi suggest Romney and Newt Gingrich have an equal chance of winning both primaries. Rick Santorum is trailing in both polls. Texas Representative Ron Paul has not campaigned in either state. Romney has a commanding lead in delegates right now with 377. Santorum is second with 146. Gingrich is third with 112. And Paul is last with only 31. 84 delegates are up for grabs in Alabama and Mississippi. And today we're learning new details about the U.S. soldier accused in the weekend massacre of 16 Afghan civilians. The 38-year-old staff sergeant is stationed at the Lewis McChord base in Washington state. We now know he enlisted soon after 9/11 and was deployed to Iraq 3 times. While on deployment in 2010, he was in a vehicle rollover accident and treated for a traumatic brain injury. He was given a clean bill of health afterward, though, and has no history of behavioral problems. 2,000 students took part in an anti-United States demonstration in Afghanistan today. The protesters condemned the shooting rampage. Mostly women and children were killed in the incident. The demonstrators chanted "Death to America" and burned American flags and a cross. They also called for U.S. forces to leave the country. Meanwhile, the Taliban announced today that they'll behead U.S. troops in revenge for the massacre. For nearly a year, Clinton's automated trash collection has had problems. Software didn't work and trash cans were delivered to the wrong houses, and the expense, $2 million to start the program, which is now more than $100,000 in debt. Clinton City Council meets tonight, and one city leader has a few ideas. All 3 scenarios include customers' flat fee of $9.25. One option, trash would be picked up once a week with 2 other fees. Another option is cheaper in price, but trash would be picked up every other week. And 3 city employees would be laid off. And in the last option, the cost would depend on the size of the trash can you use. We spoke with the mayor of Clinton, who isn't thrilled that city leaders want to make such a hasty decision.
I think that they need to step back and study the issue.
At tonight's council meeting, the mayor says he'll encourage the council to hold off on voting on those 3 options. The city of LeClaire is thinking of changing its policies when it comes to urban deer hunting, saying those policies need improvements and more requirements for hunters who participate. KWQC's Bailey Dietz reports. City leaders are also considering adding a proficiency test for hunters next season. Also in LeClaire, city leaders were able to balance the budget without borrowing money. Last night, council members unanimously adopted the budget. LeClaire doesn't have to make any layoffs or cuts to services. There's even been some discussion about lowering property taxes. Tourism and population growth in the city has helped bring in good cash flow. And coming up next, meet today's lovable pet from the Quad City Animal Welfare Center. We'll catch up in just a minute. And we're back with a lovable pet from the Quad City Animal Welfare Center. This is Patty McRae, and you're here with Cody.
Yes.
Now tell us a little bit about this guy, because it must be fate. As soon as you walked in the studio, I thought it was my dog. I have the exact same kind of dog, but his name is Marvin. So tell us a little bit about Cody.
Well, Cody came to the shelter as a stray, so we don't know a lot of his history. But what I can tell you about him is he's a neutered male. We did neuter him. He was heartworm tested negative. We vaccinated him. He is blind, so we do have him on medication right now for one of his eyes. It's got a little redness in his eye, so we have him on some steroids right now, and we're hoping that clears up. But he's good to go. He would be perfect for maybe an older person or someone that wants just a great companion to sit on their lap, and he's a nice little dog.
He seems very, very cuddly and very, very cute and calm.
He is.
You said he's 5 years old. Now, the blindness, is there things that, prospective owners should know about if they're taking in a dog that's blind? Some helpful tips.
Yeah, definitely. You're not going to be able to move your furniture around a lot. I actually have a blind cat, so just some things like that, and just start them out in a small room. Let them get used to you and your environment, and then definitely want to have them on a leash when you have them outside, and get them used to just all your environment, your inside, your outside, and then please don't move the furniture on them because they will run into it, believe me. So, and just a lot of patience and love, and he would be just perfect for anyone that has time to work with him and you know, let him get used to his new environment.
Well, he seems very sweet, and you know, patience and giving it time, that's pretty typical with adopting any animal.
Right.
I mean, talk about some of the other animals too you guys have that you're taking care of right now.
We have a full house right now.
Oh, wow.
So 30 dogs, about 90 cats.
Wow.
So yeah, definitely when you bring a new pet into your house, you want to be patient with them. It's a whole new experience. Some of them maybe have lived in a home, some of them maybe have been in a shelter for a while and maybe need to learn the rules again and just get used to being in a home again. So lots of patience and just being committed and loving them forever.
Got it. And you know, that's a lot of animals that you were just discussing. There's a call for volunteers actually at the Quad City Animal Welfare Center.
We are always looking for new volunteers. We hold a volunteer orientation. It's the first Wednesday of each month at 5:30. It's in our education center, and it usually lasts about an hour and a half. And what it, you know, really gets people the idea of what you can do to help. We have so many different events that we have. We have just lots of dog walking, and we need help cleaning. You know, having that many animals cleaning every day takes us quite a bit of time. So just get involved and you know, find out what events we have and helping with the animals. And it should make the people feel good that they're helping.
Right. Maybe pique their interest. Maybe they'll want to adopt one of them, form a bond. And okay, so if people want to get involved, how can they contact the Quad City Animal Welfare Center?
They can either go to our website or give us a call. And you know, really, we want to get people involved. And if you feel like you can adopt, that's awesome. But if you already have pets at home and want to volunteer, we could definitely use that as well.
Definitely. If you're a pet lover, there's the number on your screen and the address, Quad City Animal Welfare Center. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you, Cody. Well, coming up next on your news at noon, it's almost time to get outside and barbecue, while you may want to choose chicken or fish instead of red meat. Well, this is something that we hope we won't be seeing this spring: flooding. Flash flooding in Louisiana today has forced many people from their homes. Several parishes declared a state of emergency because of it. Floodwaters, fallen trees, and debris covering many of the roadways there and forcing several major roads to close. Right now, local and state agencies are working to keep people safe and out of the water. We've all seen it happen. Fire trucks racing to the hospital, and usually it means something bad. But for one little boy, it was the visit of a lifetime.
It's with a lot of help and a lot of love that a very deserving 8-year-old lives his dream.
Many of us waste away hours playing games on our iPads, or maybe we know somebody who does. But a new study finds the devices can help doctors save valuable time. Over 100 doctors were given Apple iPads to access patient medical records, the hospital paging system, and medical information. Well, 4 months later, researchers found the iPads made a big difference. The doctors themselves estimated the iPads helped them be more efficient, saving them about an hour a day. Doctors were also able to spend more time at patients' bedsides instead of waiting to use a hospital computer. 'Tis the season to start grilling out, but you may want to skip out on the red meat. Studies show eating red meat is associated with a significantly increased risk of death. A new study published in the Archives of Internal Medicine looked at the dietary habits of more than 100,000 men and women. They were followed for nearly 30 years. Researchers found those who ate one serving of red meat each day had a 12% increased risk of heart disease or cancer. However, experts say swapping one serving of red meat for fish, poultry, nuts, or low-fat dairy can lower that risk. Up next, people actually paying to get an up-close look at these guys, crocodiles. We'll show you why in today's Good Pictures. On this date in history, in 1993, a great blizzard struck the eastern United States with a punch of record cold, snow, and wind. The storm hit the Florida Gulf Coast with hurricane-force winds, then plowed north to bring record snowfall and severe weather all the way to Quebec. During the peak of the storm, about 1/3 of the country was being affected. The storm dumped snow in some places at a rate of 2 to 3 inches per hour. The combination of high winds with heavy wet snow downed thousands of power lines and also crippled attempts to travel. The 2-day nor'easter caused the deaths of about 270 people, and its high winds caused $3 to $6 billion in damage. Here is your chance. The place you should visit is in South Africa, and you can dive in a cage and get really close to the big crocs. Crocodiles sometimes see humans as prey, which makes cage diving all the more interesting. But the manager of the park says the cage is made of reinforced steel and can withstand the bite of an angry croc. And visitors who took the trip say it's unforgettable, as you can imagine. Well, coming up, a look ahead at the stories you'll see later on TV6, plus your first alert forecast when we come back. Coming up on your news at 5, if you want to have a cocktail in Morrison, Illinois, you can't do it on Sundays. There's currently a ban in place, but tonight Morrison City Council will discuss the possibility of reversing that ban. And Teresa, we have some nice weather to talk about.
Definitely nice weather. Sunshine, temperatures reaching 72 degrees for a high this afternoon.
All looks good to me. I won't be able to sleep tonight waiting for 77. Thanks for joining us on the news at noon. We'll be right back here at 4, 5, 6, and 10. Have a great day.